Xin chào, bạn khỏe không? Hi, how are you? Hãy đi đến phở number one và hãy đi đến Nha Trang. Nó rất đẹp. Let's go to phở number one and Nha Trang. It is awesome.
Xin chào. Hello,
Hi,
everybody.
Trey.
Hi, David.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
So, for everybody that's watching, I'm at my good friend David Dong's restaurant called Pho Number One. It's located on Allentown Boulevard. Has the best pho around, and I've been known Dave for a couple
Couple
years.
years.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Since we opened.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. I was like one of his first customers.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so this video is about his hometown, Nha Trang, in Vietnam, and I'm really interested, kind of about like David's life. He immigrated to the United States in 1990. He was single at the time, and he moved to the United States to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was in IT for a little bit, and then he's got tired of that, and he decided to open up his own restaurant. Him and his wife Lynn work here. They manage it, and they make excellent food. So, David, can you tell me a little bit about what your life was like in Nha Trang before moving to the United States?
Yeah, at that time I'm around from when I born until 15 years old. So that 15 year is what a great time in Vietnam, in Nha Trang.
Mm.
It's like I just remember my childhood, running to the ocean,
Yeah,
jogging with a couple of kids around the neighbor,
yeah,
swimming together, and then get home, and it's hanging out and all that during the summertime. And since I was around like 15 November, so
uh-huh.
we moved to the United States.
Wow.
Hmm.
So, David, now what about the jellyfish in Nha Trang? I've seen like those jellyfish. They get pretty big, and there's box jellyfish and all that stuff.
It's phenomenal. I mean, in Nha Trang, talking about seafood, it's the
Uh,
best seafood
uh,
around because it's fresh. So all the boat they go catching in the nighttime, and in the
wow.
early morning
Yeah.
they stop by at the fish market or
Uh-huh.
something,
Yeah.
and then they reselling it, or they produce to different
Wow.
market.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
Mhm.
Nha Trang has been also called the Pearl of Vietnam,
Right.
and it has the best seafood. Like what David was saying, the fishermen they go out, they get their catch, and they sell it fresh right away in the markets, in the restaurants, and so on and so forth. So, David, tell what was like the experience like from packing up and moving to a foreign country. Like, did you know anybody? Could you speak English at the time?
It's not easy though.
Mm.
It's I mean completely changing your life. I
Mm-hmm.
mean to go to another different country, different language,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just barely. I mean from high school we learn in English, but it's not really how much about you listening to the conversation, or you trying to talk with another country
Yeah.
English,
Yeah.
a different word.
Oh yeah.
So it's very tough, and but it's lucky that I have my brothers,
Mm.
couple of them used to live here,
Okay.
and they know, and been teaching, and I gone back to high school
Uh huh.
and learning ESL,
Oh yeah.
and it's for a couple years
Uh huh. Uh huh.
from, let me see, 10th grade until 12,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
after that joined to community school,
Yeah.
and still learning English with second language,
Yeah. Yeah.
and some other different classes.
Uh huh.
and then after that going to Penn State, Middletown,
Okay,
and
Penn State,
learning
familiar.
for
Yeah.
computer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So, okay, so you went to Penn State to learn IT, correct?
Yeah.
And then what gave you this idea to sell pho, to sell Vietnamese food in a restaurant?
It's a great question, Trey.
Thank you.
It's in my heart. I keep thinking about of Vietnamese food,
Uh-huh.
because Vietnamese food is dedicated food.
Oh yeah.
So it's been Vietnam have been colonized by Chinese for 1,000 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Back to the history, and
Yeah.
then by French
Yeah.
for 100 years.
Yeah, that's correct.
So that two country,
Uh-huh.
I mean, they are the top of the food cuisine, and we lucky that we got all that combined food together. So, and we create for own Vietnamese dishes, and that's why we like to open the Vietnamese restaurant. We try to keep the traditional.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
make it so we can introduce to a different food culture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for everybody. Yeah.
Absolutely. So David, there's pho restaurants like all around here, but yours seems to stand out a little bit more. What separates your specialty, your pho, from other restaurants in the area?
Another great question too. Well, because everything we do, I mean, you or me or anyone else, if you want to be successful, then you have to put your heart into that.
Oh yeah,
So,
put your heart
like,
into it. Yep.
exactly. If you like to cook, to make your food is stand out, to make your food is different, that is how you put your effort in there.
Oh yeah.
So, when you cook, when you make for your family dinner meal or something like
Uh-huh.
that,
Uh-huh.
and you're thinking of them, and then your food will be make it better.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally get that. I totally
Yeah.
get that. So I guess my next question is, do you have a bunchaka?
We
Grilled
don't.
jellyfish?
Yeah, I love to have that dishes, but we don't have a, because in this state, Pennsylvania, and especially Harrisburg, we not surround the ocean. And so to get all the fresh, because if the bún chả cá have to be good, we have to have a fresh fish
Jellyfish.
and fresh jellyfish
Yeah,
also, to make it the better dishes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we not surround the ocean, so
Yeah.
I have to drop in that dishes. Yeah.
David, actually, I was very interested in this. Did tigers, like kind of like the ecosystem in Nha Trang, did there used to be like tigers and Asiatic black bears and snow leopards roaming in Nha Trang once upon a time, or is that fake news?
I'm not really much into that. I heard they have a long time. It about the white tiger
Yeah,
they found on the mountain.
yeah.
But that what we
Just
heard.
one.
Yeah, that just one. And when I was so little, or maybe that time,
Right,
not even I'm not on the world, on this world yet.
right.
But I heard that, and we do still have a temple.
Oh yeah,
Yep,
oh yeah.
a temple.
Thousands of years old
yep,
temples.
That temple is still around in Nha Trang.
Wow, that's excellent.
Yep.
So, David, bonnet
Mhm.
is a typical breakfast dish, correct? Or lunch?
It's not really for breakfast.
Oh,
You can eat
okay.
like lunchtime or
Yeah.
dinner time.
Okay.
Because the bonnet is kind of like a little bit bigger than breakfast. It's like have some meat, some meatball,
Oh, yeah.
meatball,
Yeah.
beef,
Uh-huh.
egg,
Ooh, yeah.
and pate,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, so that is, and of course have a come with the baguette,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Vietnamese,
Can't forget the baguette.
the bread.
Yeah.
So yep, so that should be a great meal, and we have a lot of Vietnamese customer
Yeah.
enjoying that
Oh,
baguette.
yeah. I see them. I see them over
Yeah.
here.
Hmm.
So, David, I'm going to try, or I'm going to sample, as if I haven't already had it before, the Bonnet
Hmm.
and the Pho Dak Biet
Hmm.
uh, for myself
Hmm.
and for the channel. Uh, yeah. So.
So yeah, the pho is the Vietnamese common dishes.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So we can eat normally breakfast,
Yeah.
but I remember when I was back in hometown,
Uh-huh.
I eat every day, and when I feel tired,
Uh-huh.
I feel sick, I just asking my parents for a hot bowl of pho,
Yeah. Yeah.
and after I ate that pho, I'm feel better right
That's
away,
true.
and look
It's
like
so true.
give me more energy back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why is I can tell I can eat pho every single day.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I used to work in a restaurant in Florida, and like the weather was, it's kind of like a tropical climate in a way. And every time I get sick, I knew exactly where to go, like right to the restaurant. Provided I'm not like contagious, and I get some pho, and a few seconds later, I'd be feeling better.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Because what happened is in the pho ingredient
Hmm.
we have in the broth we have beef bone.
Hmm.
We have a meat like briquettes.
Hmm.
We
Yeah,
cook
like a
into the
brisket. Yeah.
broth.
Yeah.
So we have we put in with the grilled ginger,
Oh God. Yeah.
grilled sweet onion,
Yep.
uh, grilled salad.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and some other different ingredient, and we call it the herb.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all that
Yeah.
we cook about like at least say 8 hours.
Oof. 8 hours.
So all that
That's
thinking all that
yeah.
uh, mixing all together,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and it's coming out the beautiful,
Yep.
the tasty of the
Yep.
broth,
Oh yeah.
and that broth is healthy
Yeah.
and tasty.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
It's like my mom's pasta sauce, except it's not as
Right,
healthy.
right. It's.
Or as delicious.
Hmm.
But yeah. So I'd love to try some.
Absolutely,
Excellent.
absolutely. We will,
Excellent.
we make a couple for you. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
You're
Come
welcome,
on.
Trey. Yeah. Good to see you,
You
bud.
too, man.
All right.
Appreciate it. Stay tuned. Hey, while I wait for my Bonnet and Pho Doc Biet, I want to give you some background about Nha Trang and its history, its ecosystems, and a little bit about what to do there because it is a fantastic city. From the clear, green water and white sand beaches to the marble mountains, it's definitely a place to be. So, kind of backtracking from 1653 to around the 19th century during French occupation, Nha Trang was a deserted area, had a lot of wildlife, had animals like tigers and snow leopards, and the Vietnamese drip coffee. Come on.
Good to have talked to Travis at all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Travis.
So in addition to like the tigers and the snow leopards, they also had Asiatic black bears, and they found recently this weird, like they call it a mouse deer. It's freaking weird. They thought it was extinct, and they happened to find one in like the mountains somewhere or the jungle in Nha Trang. Um, I don't know what I. Yeah, it's pretty gross, but anyway, so the French occupied Nha Trang, um, and around like the latter half of the 1800s, and they kind of declared it. Well, actually, the governor general of French Indochina, he decreed that Nha Trang as an outlet, or he dedicated as an urban center, and it was established from basically the ancient villages of, ooh, yep, I cannot even pronounce those. But anyway, moving on. The ecosystem, like I was saying, the southern Vietnam lowland dry forest ecoregion is the single most degraded or otherwise converted dry forest ecoregion outside of India. Yikes. Only India's East Deccan dry evergreen forests are in worse shape. Uh, this ecoregion is protected by surrounding areas by a burgeoning human population that's like encroaching. And many of the protected forests are devoid of like their fauna species, unfortunately, and a lot of invasive hunting or poaching has really decimated the wildlife. But it's like enter the aquatic arena. So there are sharks, including the great white shark. They have been reported or seen roaming the waters of Nha Trang. They come in from the South China Sea because the water is so warm. I mean, who can blame them? But don't worry, reports of shark bites are slim to none because the tourist noise and commotion scare them away. The sharks are afraid. However, that is not the same with Nha Trang's jellyfish. They're not scared off, unfortunately. The jellyfish, for sure, are annoying, non fatal, but very painful jellyfish. They kind of frolic in the water. There are few accounts of the lethal box jellyfish. It's been reported off the beachheads. But I was talking to David. It makes a great bunchaka dish. And if you venture off the aquatic arena, you go into the highlands and the jungle. There are snakes, among other things, off the beaten path in the tall grass and the thickets, and there's a whole host of insects and whatever. I'm not going to bore you, disgust you with those. Um, but yeah, so kind of a fun fact: Monkey Island, or Dao Key, it's actually situated approximately like 4 miles from the shoreline of Nha Trang up to the north. Um, Dao Ki Kai something. That name comes from the huge amount of monkeys living on the island. And so check this out. Before the war with America, there were monkey farms. Yeah, monkey farms, which raised different monkey breeds and supplied them to the USSR. After the war period, though, the supply was stopped, and the monkeys ended up occupying the whole territory of the island, almost like a crazy Jurassic Park, like true story. Ooh, some appetizers just arrived. Let's check them out. Ooh, wow. Grab some chopsticks here. Are you kidding me? Oh, I thought it stopped recording. Okay. All right. So, Lin Dong just dropped off some appetizers while I was talking and on the video. So let's see what they are. Ooh, one's kind of rolling away from me here. So let's see what this is. Mmm. That, my friends, is a crab ball. And this is a type of nukma with oil, chili oil in the middle. And this is just a fried pork roll. So good. And this, I don't know what this is. Let's try it. So there's actually also crab in this. But it kind of almost looks like a coleslaw. It's like a crab mix. Excellent. And this, obviously, hold on, is a shrimp. Fried shrimp, literally. All right, well, that's all for right now. There will be more to be continued. I just gotta say, everything is so fresh. This is just the appetizer. Okay, so part one of 2 meals came. Bonnet, obviously I can't like show you, so I'm gonna move my laptop here. It's oh god. Meatball, egg, pate, and beef. And to kind of top it off is the fresh grilled baguette there with some fresh veggies. All right. And this is what I've been waiting for 2 weeks. Well, actually, so this is a Vietnamese coffee. The slow drag, David actually kind of took it away, but it's this, it's like a percolator, and it drips down, and there's condensed milk at the bottom. Really inspired by the French back in like the 1800s, like mid 1800s, with Napoleon III and all that, and all those people, all those colonizers, occupiers. Really rich. Rich and nice. It's great. And then the pho d'Apiette, which means it's full of everything. So there's the pho, there's the rare beef, and the broth actually cooks it. There's scallions and cilantro and herbs, and then there's tripe, Vietnamese meatball, and and these are the greens that are traditionally put in the bowl of pho. So, man, this is gonna be so good. It's like my fave. Let me move the bonnet out of the way. Okay. I wish you guys were here. So, great. So the bean sprouts. Serrano peppers. Make it spicy. I like spicy. All right, more bean sprouts. Can't do me. So here's some basil that traditionally, like depending on where you are in Vietnam, goes into the bowl of pho. I'll put that in there. And the Vietnamese love limes. It's a tropical fruit. It's a tropical country. I usually squeeze like half in the bowl, and I throw the other half in like some water. Okay. And I don't even wait to let it simmer or anything. Actually, pull this down here. Like I'll even wait to let the flavors all blend together. Like I kind of just get right to it. So this is my favorite. So it's good tendon. It's soft, and you can see that it's like a soft piece of tendon. So. Let me drop the mic, really. So aromatic. The taste is very clean. You can definitely tell it's beef, but it's like a clean, light beef, like a clean, light broth. And here's like a beef meatball. Mm. Well prepared, well cooked. And then here is the typical rice noodle. And forget what this is. It's just a spoon. It's a traditional spoon. So you can get the broth. So you can see why this is a good soup to eat when you're healthy or if you need a health boost. Excellent.
So, some history. Love my history. So, where I'm standing at now is the Poe Nagar Temple complex, and it was built sometime around the 7th century BC. It was dedicated to the worship of a number of deities, especially Lady Poe Nagar, who was the goddess who created and nurtured the earth. The temple, with its soft stone towers and columns, is a beautiful marriage of Cham, which the Cham were an ethnic minority in Vietnam. They have since been kind of driven out, but whatever, that's a different story. So Cham architecture, which actually had some elements of Hinduism. There was an 8th tower, which the original sandstone towers they were once a complex, but only 4 still stand, unfortunately. But the 4 that do are just totally magnificent. It is a 28-meter tall like North Tower. It's like it's the highest and most stunning, with its terraced roof, number of chiseled like inscriptions on the doorway dedicated to Lady Poe Nagar, and it holds a 10-arm black statue of the goddess Uma inside, because you need 10 arms to nurture the earth, apparently. The other 3 towers are dedicated to Hindu deities, Kriya Kambu, Shiva, and Ganesh. Ooh, wow. Now, my favorite, aside from history, features of Nha Trang. Of all the islands dotted around Nha Trang, there's a bunch of islands, like white sand beaches, clear green water. But I'm telling you what, the ones of Hon Mun are the most magnificent, I promise. It's featured with like limestone cliffs, caves, and stunning black rocks that cover the coastline. And I mean, if you're a photographer, I'm telling you, you gotta go there. As well as if you're a climber or a hiker, man, this is definitely a bucket list topic item here. But the cream of the crop, however, is featured underwater. So if you're a diver or a snorkeler, check out the coral reefs. The coral reefs you gotta respect, because they're disappearing fast, and people have no respect or no regard for them. And they try to touch them, like, oh, cool, Nha Trang, like coral reefs, let's touch. No, one touch and you kill the coral reef forever. And coral reefs are magnificent specimens over thousands and thousands of years to form. But anyway, with the ones that are left, they attract a whole diversity of colorful fish, sea turtles, crabs, and the likes. And like the water here was so clear that I found that, even if you didn't want to jump into the water, I did, because that's just how I roll. But those who didn't jump in the water could still enjoy like the marine life. I mean, you can see it. The water's so clear. But yeah, I would definitely consider going to Hanmun like ASAP. Another cool feature is Baho Waterfalls. It's a 40-minute ride away or outside of, well, it's inside of Nha Trang, but whatever, 40 minutes from the center of the city. There's 3 waterfalls that make up a group, and the bottom one is usually the most crowded with tourists, but it's the easiest to reach. But if you want to like do a half-hour trek through the jungle, you can jump into a crystal clear pool. I don't really know the path myself, I'm gonna be honest with you, but if you trek through the jungle, there's 2 and 3 waterfalls, a little harder to climb. There's some huge boulders, there's some thick forest you gotta get through, but with the proper hiking shoes and rocks that get slippery, if you be careful, like you can do it, especially during the rainy season, you gotta be careful. But however, some good news, there are pointed arrows that are guiding you on the way. So, yeah. The pho. So pho, or like pho, not pho, don't say pho, it's completely different. It's obviously a Vietnamese soup, beef or chicken broth, sometimes seafood broth, rice noodles called ban pho, a few herbs, meats, primarily made, well, like I said, with beef or chicken. It's a huge, it's like a cheeseburger in the States. It's a huge popular street food in Vietnam, all over the place. Scholars tend to debate on the origins of pho. Some think that it was originated in the 20th century in northern Vietnam. If you peep my my presentation from university, you can kind of see where it originated in terms of resistance movements against the French. But again, that's a different story. If you want to, go on my Facebook, check it out. But yeah, so apparently, or theoretically, it was popularized through the rest of the world by refugees after the Vietnam War. Unfortunately, the documentation of pho's origin is kind of lost through history, but it varies from Saigon, parentheses, Ho Chi Minh City, to Hanoi. The styles of pho differ exponentially by like the type of noodle, the taste of the broth, the choice of the herbs and meats, etc., etc. Now, going back to Nha Trang, Hai San is basically seafood in Vietnamese, and Nha Trang is chock full of seafood eateries, fisheries, and they're harvested like that day. Like I kind of said in my video with David Dong, fishermen will go out like early in the morning. They'll catch like giant prawns, squid, urchins, crabs, jellyfish, like shellfish, all the stuff. And seafood is priced by weight. So you can pick your choice of if you want like a live fish to cook. It's like now it's really fresh, or you can pick from frozen seafood. But yeah, once you make your selection, it is boom, right there, like cooked, ready to eat. Some popular ones are like pan-fried squid with like a pork stuffing and like tomato sauce, grilled red snapper, prawns or like shrimp and tamarind sauce. I'm done. I'm full. But I feel so good. I feel like a food coma. Thanks for tuning in. I highly appreciate that. I hope you all enjoyed it. I know I certainly did. But yeah, until next time, take care.
Man, you're gonna leave the chicken. Right there. No. Not skipping a beat. Is this TreyzTravelz here? Oh,
That's amazing.
I'm just texting Alex. You'll find it hilarious. Oh, they're done apparently.
And of course they're done. They wouldn't have had as much difficulty ordering.
Are you sure it's not Cobra?
Oh, look at his teeth.
Oh, is this TreyzTravelz here? Oh,
That's amazing.
I'm just texting Alex. You'll find it hilarious. Oh, they're done apparently.
And of course they're done. They wouldn't have had as much difficulty ordering.
If the people know my wisdom, build the land.